Well, my message to voters across this incredibly diverse constituency has been the same, whether it's for the wealthy areas, the more disadvantaged areas, private housing, social housing, renters, owner-occupiers. It's the same, which is the Conservative Party allows you to improve your life. If you want to work hard, create jobs, build a business, create a better life for your family in the future, we'll get out of your way, will allow you to keep more of your money in reduced taxes, reduced regulation, allow you to use your talents and your ability. That's how you tackle poverty.
And which voters are you targeting in this constituency?
Well, the name of the game of any political campaign in terms of an election is find your voters and get them out. Now, it's really important to go on the doorstep and convince undecided people to vote for you. And my goodness, we spent 2 years doing that, and a lot of people are coming our way. So whether it's undecided voters who hopefully we've swayed, or our solid supporters who've always been there, the idea is find them, get them out.
Mansion tax, that's going to be something that you're going to make kind of central to your campaign, I presume, in that Labour want to introduce it, and that'll affect a significant amount of voters in this area. What else are you looking at?
Well, mansion tax has become central to our campaign because so many people are so incredibly worried about it. I know people already who moved out from the area because of the mansion tax. And across the whole constituency, whether it's houses above 2 million or houses 1.6, 7, 8 and flats 1.5, 6 and 7 million, I know it sounds a huge amount of money to many people, but here in London, many parts of London, ordinary people live in these properties. They've been here for 20, 30, 40 years. It's not their fault that their property prices have gone up, and they are going to be heavily penalised. It's a tax on ordinary people. It's a tax on success. It's a tax on London, and it won't work.
What about private renters? Labour have made this central to to their campaign, but the Conservatives didn't sort of seem to cover it in their manifesto. Have you re-looked at that? Is there anything for you to sort of mention, because a large amount of your constituents are private renters?
Absolutely. Well, actually, a lot of people don't realise that last October it became law for rental agents to sign up to a rent redress scheme. That became law last October, and actually last May, I believe, or earlier. The Mayor of London introduced his own rental scheme when people have complaints, and it's run by the Property Ombudsman. And I think this is a huge step forward in having some kind of decent treatment and equality where tenants can rely on being treated well, not being exploited, no revenge eviction, some of the terrible things that I've dealt with here as a councillor. So maybe we've undersold ourselves here because we've introduced these legally binding new schemes which give some protection for people. But I like to add a further note. They don't go far enough. This is just the beginning. So if I had the privilege to be the MP here, I would work cross-party to make sure private renters, and indeed all renters, had more protection.
What's going to put people off from voting for Conservatives, and how do you address that?
Well, it's not for me to say. I feel that we have the answers to a great many things. Obviously, we've got things wrong, and there's a lot more to do. You might argue that our image, going back 20, 30 years, sometimes puts people off. But look, every party changes, and I see it as part of my job to make sure the party appeals to everybody, make sure we're updated, responding to people's needs, and hopefully getting people to vote for us.
And a quick rundown on your tie with the local area.
Well, born and bred here, went to school here, grew up here, and I live here. So and even when I get a bit of time, still run out on a rugby pitch at my old age. But really, yes, I know the area top to bottom. You know, really, whether it's Paddington Rec or the Heath, I know this place. So I feel what's in my interest is in the interest of local people, and I'll fight really hard to make sure everyone gets heard here.
A few quick flashpoints to end with. In a nutshell, what's going to set you apart from the other candidates?
Well, as I say, I've lived here all my life. So I have a huge local interest. I'm well known, and I've proven that I've earned people's trust. I used to run a charity called the Boxing Academy where we gave a second chance in life to excluded teenagers. But I'm not a career politician. So I spent 15 years in business, whether it's running and managing small businesses around London or working for the British Chamber of Commerce in Brussels, or indeed co-founding the charity I just mentioned. I believe I have the experience, the skill and the proven values to make a difference to people's lives.